Put your pants back on. Happy Monday, everyone. All right, over the weekend, Donald Trump held a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, the site of the first assassination attempt. He spoke from behind a shield made of plexiglass, the same material they used to build Nancy Pelosi. Not to be outdone, Kamala Harris will join The View, where the Secret Service will have harpoon guns in case the cast gets hungry. You're booing? Get him out of here. On Tuesday, Howard Stern will interview Kamala Harris. She's well prepared, having worked 4 years under a different fart man. I'll take it. After a 7-month narcotics investigation, a large shipment of elephant tranquilizer has been seized on Long Island. Now how will I sleep, asks one woman.
I thought that was going my way.
A Frontier jet caught fire during a hard landing at the Las Vegas airport. The company quickly responded by announcing they're bringing back the smoking section. In a rare solo interview earlier tonight, Kamala Harris appeared on 60 Minutes. Meanwhile, her husband appeared on A Nanny for 10 minutes. A judge ruled that a Missouri law that forced sex offenders to post no candy signs outside their residence on Halloween is actually unconstitutional. Okay, how about a sign that says sex offender?
Yeah, that's fair.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
And finally, researchers have determined that the act of swallowing is actually helpful to your health. See, I told you, said one man. Slow. Very slow. Yeah. All right. So on Saturday, Donald Trump returned to Butler, PA, where roughly 3 months ago, he was almost assassinated by a loser who couldn't make his high school rifle club, but somehow mastered slanted roof technology. It was huge, so huge, the rest of the media had to cover it. First, Trump returns to the scene of his near death and then opens with this.
We love Pennsylvania, and as I was saying, oh, I love that. I love that chart.
Yes. Trump's got charts while Biden's got sharts. Elon Musk showed up, jumping around like a human embodiment of the First Amendment. All it needed was Hulk Hogan tearing his shirt off or Kid Rock putting a shirt on. Crowd was even bigger this time around, and it's solemn. It was funny and, dare I say it, joyous. Now compare that to the existential prophecies of a future Trump presidency. A threat to democracy, dictatorship, chaos. Was there anything in Butler resembling that? Tens of thousands of people from all over standing together to hear speeches that painted America as a place worth protecting, where safety matters, where borders matter, where American jobs matter, where our leaders would actually put our country first. All things that a Harris presidency would make disappear faster than an erection on Bikini Day at The View.
Sense of the theme here.
That sentence started out so well. Tens of thousands of people, the people that the legacy media demonizes all day long, people who happen to be in the ultimate swing state, by the way. Who do you think, though, our media is going to blame if Trump wins this thing? Just listen to these chuckleheads continue to push violent retribution if Trump wins.
This is an increasingly desperate person who's preparing for civil war.
People right now in the Republican Party are, in fact, actively rooting for and inciting a split, a division in the country.
What he says he intends to do. And when he turns around and says he intends to use SEAL Team 6 or the military within which to round up his critics or his opponents, he intends to do it.
He's putting in place what he needs to disrupt the process and to create enough tension and confusion that you'll have people on the streets protecting and defending him.
What happened to him?
So you get the sense there's going to be chaos if Trump wins. That's the sense they want you to have. It's less an election and more of an extortion. And sadly, they may be right. There will be chaos if Trump wins because it'll come from them. What they're saying is, if you win, there will be blood, your blood. It's the mafia saying, nice country you got here. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to it. At least the thugs from Goodfellas had style. Democrat fellas look like this. Think about it. Has Kamala Harris articulated a single original policy point? Sure, she mentioned not taxing tips, which she lifted from Trump like a Cartier watch during a smash and grab. She doesn't bother with policy because she doesn't have to. Because as the woman who babbles on about not going back from her own administration, it's always followed by or else disaster, chaos, a chaos they seem to be guaranteeing. We've seen their chaos in Chicago, New York, San Fran, and Minneapolis. Well, Tim Walz, he missed that one. He was busy fighting ISIS in Iraq with exploding tampons. Now, some of us might be a bit scared, but that's what they want. But you can't let them blackmail or threaten you into a Democrat win, because clearly this is their last sure sign of desperation from a side that doesn't have policy or history or even common sense on their side, only threats. But the good news, like Gerald Nadler's deodorant, it's not working. Tens of thousands of people standing shoulder to shoulder in a field that had the blood of Trump and 3 others in it showed them that. Trump came back like he promised. He didn't let them set the limits. They took their best shot, literally, then he boldly returned to the scene of the crime. Like Brian Stelter returning to steal from the CNN fridge. Trump showed up saying, forget it, the threats won't stop us. So it wasn't just about Butler, but the election itself. By gathering all those people in the same field where a weaponized nutcase tried to end Trump's run for president, Trump and thousands of others showed that this election can actually be decided on the merits and not under the threat of the left, vowing chaos if they don't get their way. It's funny, the guy they're telling us will end elections and democracy is actually the one doing the most to preserve it. And tens of thousands joined him. They're ready to fight, with a prez who has their backs every step of the way. So let the Dems keep telling you that Team Trump will end America as we know it. And if they're talking about the way we've known it the past 4 years, let's hope this is one time they're right. Let's welcome tonight's guest. As we head into fall, remember, if you're cold, he's colder. Founder of StudioTSC.com, Michael Loftus. He's my favorite Kevin after Sorbo and Spacey. Former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. Her baby shower registry can be found at 7-Eleven. New York Times bestselling author, Fox News contributor, Kat Tiff. And you can hear the ocean in his belly button. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA world champion, Tyrus.
Sorry if it's loud.
Michael, did you happen to catch one of the rail boxcars to Butler to catch Trump?
I missed the boxcar, but luckily I got a new shopping cart that I rode all the way there. This was a great moment. This was like a Hall of Fame. Put him out on Mount Rushmore now, and a special shout out to the Secret Service for getting over their fear of sloped roofs. That was miraculous. Like, hold on, there's a ramp here. Trump is fantastic, and I love his instinct. His throwaway lines are better than anything that the left could script for Biden, right? You got Trump talking, making up Rocket Man, and everybody's like, that's wild, that's crazy, and Joe Biden's over there. There's nothing on that. And for Trump to open up this "so anyway, where was I?" is just an epic. It acknowledges the moment, but it was just an interruption. I'm still going. I'm unstoppable. He had the chart. This is up there with Newhart doing the callback to the original Newhart show. Do you remember that? When he woke up.
For people who know what you mean. Was it the last episode he wakes up and he's actually
of his third show?
Yes.
Yeah, when he woke up with Suzanne Plachette. It was that moment from Trump.
Yeah.
So anyway, and they're like, should we have the chart up there? Are you kidding? You gotta have the chart. The bit doesn't work without the chart.
You know, it's funny, Congressman, that I think that when he said he was going to come back afterwards, people said you're not going back, but you knew he was going to do that, right? But I was curious, have you talked to him since this, and is he changed in your mind?
No, I talked to him each week, but I talked to him the day after the assassination, and he would sit there and he would tell me I could hear the bullet coming to my ear. But then he was still total Trump. He goes, now, Kevin, I learned something. You'll learn this later in life because you have big, beautiful ears. There's a lot of blood in your ears, right?
Yeah.
But what this symbolizes, he's not letting Butler end with the assassination attempt. So the community won't.
Yes.
He kept a promise that he's coming back. He honored the life of Corey and the others who were shot. But he did something else. For a nation to heal, anybody will tell you, you got to go back to the location it started. Mm-hmm. And he was doing something for the nation at the same time he was doing it for everybody else. That he finished his speech, he welcomed everybody back. Don't be fearful of these people who want to put fear into our lives about politics. Let's rise together. I promise you this, there's people at that rally that weren't going to support him, but wanted to support the nation. That's a person ready to be president.
Yeah, you know, I didn't even think of that was really a special thing for Butler to be known as he came back, as opposed to where he almost was killed.
You didn't want
it was actually a triumphant part 2, a sequel that's better than the first, Kat. Mm-hmm. Did you catch any of this over the weekend, or were you busy?
I was busy. So I was backstage waiting to go on stage at one of my shows, and the clip of Trump saying, so as I was saying, a friend sent it to me, and the friend who sent it to me is actually the most liberal person I know.
Yeah.
I mean, probably to the left of AOC, and he was like, I hate it, but this is so funny. Yeah. and that's the thing, because if you watch all those clips that you played from MSNBC and all those other news sources, I don't know about you guys, those shows don't look very funny. No. And so I think even if you don't, you can believe all those things, you can hate him so much, but you have to admit, I mean, that's funny, that's entertaining to watch. I mean, that was just, and that's why people do like him. And that's something that you can't really teach. I mean, how many of these candidates have people tried to humanize and give the ability to do this sort of thing? That's just, you kind of have it or you don't. Mm-hmm. And so I think, I mean, the fact that that's the person I found out from actually says a lot.
Yeah. You know, Tyrus, to listen to somebody like Joe Scarborough still in this weird world that like after something going on like that on Saturday, to think that this is a guy that's trying to divide a country.
I think the only thing that was good about that MSNBC, well, whatever you want to call it, the only thing that was good about that was there was one guy who has a little bit of a conscience, and you could see it. He was having a hard time answering. Are we really doing? If I were to sit on this show tonight and say, if President Trump doesn't win, there should be a civil war, no, that's not what I meant. But if I would have said it the next day, I would have been fired. No, not even by the time I walked out of this building, I would have got a call from the Fox higher-ups going, that's not the message that we want here. Thank you, goodbye. The fact that these guys can sit on TV and say these incendiary things, knowing we've already had 2 attempts, how are they allowed to be on TV? Who is allowing this? You can disagree with him. You can not like him. You can have all the horrible comments about his policies in the world. But to sit there and say that, guys, if we don't do something, there's going to be a bloodbath. You are planting seeds, and we already see your seeds take growth in the wrong kind of minds. Is just unbelievably irresponsible.
It's shocking. It's hard to believe that they continue doing this after 2
assassinations. At some point, somebody has to be the adult in the room and say, Joe, we didn't bring you here on talent, so we didn't think it was going to be this dangerous, but you've got to go. Maybe it's his wife who puts him down. I don't know, but he needs to go. And before my time, I just want to say, thank you, sir, for sticking to principles and putting country first. I know the situation with the House, but I just want to say on behalf of a lot of people who vote, thank you.
Thank you.
And I just want to say to you, on behalf of no longer pooping in front of my apartment, Thank you. And as a homeless man, you were so clean.
That was the medication that was stopping that.
Okay.
That prescription ran out. There's going to be a fresh pile come tomorrow.
I couldn't let your solemn moment pass.
I know you couldn't.
I can't help it.
World's
You were
tallest
probably like,
3-year-old, ladies and gentlemen.
There's no way he's going to be able to make this about poop.
He is a magician.
Where there's no poop, I will make it about poop. I'm the David Blaine of feces. All right.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.